Vlog number 2. Story continued. So I left off the last one with meeting Geschichte and having said to Geschichte, I will do whatever so I can live. And I had no idea what that meant and what was in store for me. So just keep this in mind as I continue to tell this story, because what's the saying? Truth is stranger than fiction. That's the case here. So the overdose happened when I was 19. And over the next year, I developed quite a peacefulness. I had begun practicing yoga diligently and really didn't have many relationships at that point anymore because my friends were still partying. But I had one really good friend, and I told him what had happened to me, and I told him about Geschichte. And he's the only person I remember telling for 20 years, almost. I kept the relationship to myself. I kept it secret because it was sacred to me. And I didn't want anyone tearing at it. I didn't want anyone trying to diminish it. So I kept it to myself. When I turned 21, right about that time, I started back into art school. I had been taking a year off. My major was fine art. I loved it. And I started meeting new people. And on my 21st birthday, 2 of my new friends took me out for the evening. And in that evening, we met with one of their friends, and I was very intrigued by him. He was mysterious, and I felt a strange connection to him. And that was all for that evening. But after that meeting, I started having strange experiences with a ghost. And it was a girl. She was troubled, and I offered her my help. I said, if you're following me around like this, you must want my help. So I'm willing to give it to you. I didn't know exactly who she was at that time, but I did learn later. And over the next 3.5 years, I would have daily interactions with her, where she would lead me to her journals, her clothing, and just share with me general emotions and thoughts that were not reconciled. In my 21st year, the same time that I met her, I had an experience while over at a friend's house, and I felt my entire body fill with this heaviness, this indescribable heaviness. It was so heavy that I couldn't get up. I was in the bathroom, on the toilet, in fact, and I couldn't get off the toilet. I felt like I had been filled with lead or bricks or something. And I was filled with memories. And I've learned from this experience and from helping others that memories are vast. There's all different types of memories. Some memories are emotions. Some memories are visual. Some memories are smells. But in general, memories exist in some type of invisible field. And the type of memories that I was filled with that night were of an energetic kind, more emotional and informational than anything else. And what I had memories of, full of emotions of, was being severely sexually abused as a very tiny little girl. And at that time, there weren't any visuals. It was only feelings. But it was paralyzing. And it changed the course of my life. I went into a deep downward spiral. I didn't bathe for like 23 days. And I was lost. I ended up on a multitude of different prescription medications. And my sense of peacefulness was gone. It was just gone. During this time period, I also got pregnant. And just had a very difficult time. And because I was having these daily interactions with this girl, I was having these horrible memories and just feeling hopeless. I was searching for a special kind of counselor. Someone who I could actually talk to, someone that wouldn't just think I was crazy. Maybe someone who had also had similar experiences, or at least believed that ghosts even existed, so that I wouldn't be just put on some type of medication for seeing things. Because even with the medications I was on, it didn't change anything about my interactions with her. So I was led to this woman. I'm leaving everyone's name out of this on purpose. I was led to this very unique, interesting woman. She was a psychologist and had a doctorate and had developed her own type of therapy. And her therapy was brilliant. It was a way of communicating with the subconscious mind through a system of numbers. And she had had not a near-death experience, she had had a death experience where she was dead for quite some time and came back. And she said that who she was when she died was not the same person that she was when she came back to life. Literally, she wasn't the same soul. And she became my therapist and my teacher. I started to study with her things that nobody else could possibly teach, such as how to navigate being able to see ghosts and communicate with people that had passed and that sort of thing. And it was with her that I asked to please uncover these memories into as much visualization as I could so that I could understand these memories better. And so she took me on many meditations, except they weren't really meditations because I wasn't really there as far as not being in full awareness. But she took me in this type of regression work to uncover the visual memories of that time. And what I uncovered was that none of those memories matched my life. None of those time periods matched. They were all a few years off. And this confused me greatly because I was hoping for more clarity, not more confusion. And so we did one final session, and I passed out completely during it. And when I woke up, she said, "How do you feel?" And I said, I feel great." And she said, "Do you know why?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Because that person never molested you. Those weren't your memories. You absorbed her memories in order to bring healing." So you can imagine, what do you do with that? I genuinely felt different. I knew it was true because once the visual memories had come forth, they didn't match my life. They obviously weren't mine. And now I've learned that it's possible to completely absorb some type of residual dysfunction that's still existing within the fabric of this reality, even if it's not yours. And this is what began my training as a medium, which is now rather enjoyable, but back then wasn't. That's all for today. Thanks.